All right, now here's the down low. Most people will never do this. They're gonna watch this video and they won't do it. They will not pick an affirmation, they will not write it down, and then they will continue to be broke, and then they'll comment on this video, freaking a-hole, you don't understand how hard it is. Okay, I got a challenge for you. All you gotta do is say this Bob Proctor Money Affirmation, and you will become a millionaire. But here's the kicker. There's 3 things you have to know about this money affirmation to make it work quicker and faster. I'm gonna share that all with you in today's video. So in 2015, the Neuroscience department at UCLA University did a pretty crazy study. So they took a bunch of people and they used MRI machines. They were monitoring their brains, and they had people doing self-affirmations. They had people affirming things, and then they had another group doing absolutely nothing. And what they found was really crazy. The neural pathways increased, strengthened, and grew in the groups that were actually doing self-affirmations, whereas the group that wasn't, no results. Okay, now if you want to be super scientific, it was the ventromedial prefrontal cortex in the brain that would activate when people were doing self-affirmations. So big idea number 1 that I learned from Bob Proctor, rest in peace to beautiful soul. I know he's out there happy and smiling on you and I watching and creating this video right now. The very first thing that he taught me was constant spaced repetition. Constant spaced repetition. Now, what does that UCLA study show? It shows that the people that were using repetition with their affirmations saw through the MRIs measurable changes or evolutions in their own brain. So what does that show you? You cannot get the money you want with this affirmation unless you use repetition. And I know this from direct experience because I was 20 years old, I was super freaking broke, and I met Bob Proctor. And he said, "Why are you so broke?" And I said, "Well, I don't know why I'm so broke, help me." And he gave me this affirmation, and I wasn't sure if it would really work. And I started doing some crazy stuff. I started listening to it all day long. God bless my wife's soul for listening to this 10,000 times. We used to fall asleep with it. I would take showers with it. I would eat with it. I would stretch with it. I would play it all day long, and I would say it all day long. I'd write it on a piece of paper. I'd put it on the treadmill while I ran. What was I doing besides being crazy? I was using repetition because UCLA's neuroscientific division proves that affirmations, which are repeated, create measurable changes in the brain and increase the neural pathways. Here's the thing, your neural pathways are programmed for you to be broke. And when you use constant spaced repetition on the affirmation I'm about to share with you, you will make a lot more money. Big idea number 2 has to do with this drawing right here. Beautiful drawing, I do say so myself. No, I didn't even draw it. It was created by Dr. Thurman Fleet all the way back in 1932 and popularized by Bob Proctor. Now, big idea number 2 to make this affirmation work for you and start to bring more money into your life is to find the deep-seated beliefs that are contrary to the affirmation I'm about to give to you before you use the affirmation. The biggest mistake you can make is just go out there and start doing this affirmation without finding the deeper beliefs that are contrary to it. So what we have here is a rendering of the mind. Because when you say, what's the mind? People go, well, it's the brain. Well, the brain's not the mind. The brain's just an electronic switching station. Mind is activity. That's what mind is. We don't have a concept of what the mind looks like. So this is just a concept to make it visual. Now, 95% of your life is controlled by your subconscious. That's what Bob Proctor taught. And your conscious mind up here represents 5% of your life. So when you start doing this affirmation, it's gonna be conscious. But what's happening is you're battling the subconscious mind that controls 95% of your whole life. And I'm on the phone with Bob Proctor one of the first times we met, and he gets in here. And he says, you know what your problem is? You think you're too young. And I said, yeah, well, I am. And he said, to hell with that. There's 11-year-olds making millions of dollars. And I realized that I had found my belief system blocking my success. Now, another way to look at this is the conscious mind is up here representing thoughts, but the subconscious is the emotional mind. It's the feeling mind, which controls the body, which controls the actions, which controls your results. I believed I was too young. I dropped out of college, I backpacked around the world. All the publishing companies said no when I wrote my first book. They all told me I was too young. I believed them. So what feeling did that create? It created a feeling of inadequacy, that I wasn't good enough. So that guided everything I did, and there's no amount of affirming a word that's gonna change a deeper feeling. First, you have to find that feeling. So my question to you is, what is that deeper feeling? What is that deeper belief that you might have that says you can't make more money? Is it that you were told you were dyslexic? Is it that you were told that you can't focus? Did you think you had ADD? Did you think you never came from a well-to-do family? You don't have the resources, you didn't go to the right school, you're too old, you're too young. First, identify this. Once you've identified this, then you can be free from it. And that's why I'm so big on success hypnosis. You can check out my free success hypnosis, it's right there down below. I made this after my first year being mentored by Bob Proctor. It changed my life. It's free. It's right there down below, jakeshypnosis.com, and you can check it out for free. Now, the third and final big idea is crazy. I'm gonna give you that, and it's gonna help this affirmation work a lot better, a lot quicker, and a lot faster to bring money into your life. Big idea number 3 is don't just do the affirmation, become the affirmation. So researchers at National Weight Control Registry did a project, a study, involving more than 6,000 people who've lost more than 30 pounds. They looked at the habits of successful dieters, and they found that 78% of them ate breakfast every day, a meal cued by the time of day. But they also envisioned a specific reward for sticking with their diet, AKA bikini bod, pride of stepping on the scale, other people telling them that they look great. They focused on craving for that reward when the temptations arose, and they cultivated that craving into a mild obsession. So in other words, they built a worthy ideal and they became that ideal. Weight loss wasn't just a idle goal. It wasn't just an idea in their head. They literally became it. While they're sitting there and they're like, I want another ice cream. I want this thing. They imagined their perfect body. They imagined how healthy and happy they felt. They had become it because the brain is a reward-seeking mechanism, and it works in pictures. And when you give your brain a picture of a reward, you get instant results. Now, how do we take advantage of this fascinating study that showed that the people that were losing weight effectively had very clear pictures? It helped them overcome their old self. Well, what Bob taught me is an index card. An index card is where you just take a little 3x5 piece of paper, Bob calls them goal cards, and you write what you want in the present tense. So I was 20 years old and I write on this piece of paper that I'm so happy and grateful that I'm a world-renowned successful author and thought leader making millions of dollars and inspiring millions of people. That I'm a successful author and thought leader making millions of dollars and inspiring millions of people. And I wrote it on this index card. And I started carrying it with me everywhere that I go. Think back to that study at the beginning at UCLA. Think about how the MRI machine showed that the people that had the repetition of the affirmation built new neural circuits, new connections in their brain. Then think back to the index card. It's in your hand all the time. It's in your pocket all the time. You have it taped to your mirror. What's happening? You're building those pathways. And what a lot of people do is they get excited about making more money, and then their old self comes back in. And that's why the index card is so important, just like the weight loss study that showed that the people that stuck to it, they had a clear reward in their mind. What the index card does is it helps you build that picture and hold that picture in your mind all the time. I was 21 walking around the street in Encinitas, California, holding this index card all sweaty in 85-degree weather in the sun, and I'm seeing this clear picture of myself as a successful author. I'm a millionaire. I'm inspiring millions of people. I didn't know how, but I was already in the picture. It had become real to me. And so pull out an index card. And here's two choices of Bob Proctor's affirmations. The first is, I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. You can comment that one down below. Money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. So that's number one if you want a generic one. But if you want a specific one, what Bob had me do is write exactly what I wanted down, beginning with I'm so happy and grateful. So I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm a worldly successful author and thought leader making millions of dollars and inspiring millions of people. That was mine. Yours might be, I'm so happy and grateful that I'm a top real estate agent in San Diego, California, making $120,000 a year. Yours might be that I'm so happy and grateful that I have a fully filled up car cleaning business and I'm making $5,000 a month. Yours might be anything. But it needs to be clear, and it needs to be something that can be summarized in one sentence that a stranger, if they picked up your index card, would know exactly what you wanted, and it has to be something that you want enough that you're going to build the mental picture of it to take the most advantage of all these scientific studies from UCLA and weight loss. All right, now here's the download. Most people will never do this. They're going to watch this video and they won't do it. They will not pick an affirmation, they will not write it down, and then they will continue to be broke, and then they'll comment on this video, freaking a-hole, you don't understand how hard it is. What are you doing? Think back to the UCLA study. You are further ingraining those neural pathways of being broke, and being angry, and being upset, and being mad at money, and being mad that your life can't change. You create your own reality. UCLA just showed us that. You're building those neural pathways of being broke over and over. And most people will never do it, but I know you will. And so I encourage you to pull out a pen and pad, write your money affirmation down. Let me know in the comments what you think of this video. Be sure to get my free success hypnosis right there down below, jakeshypnosis.com, pinned to the comments and in the description. Smash the like button on this video and I'll see you on the next one.